Hey, thanks for joining me for this workout. You are not going to need any equipment. I do mention a band in the warm up, not strictly necessary, but you also might need a chair, just the back of the chair, just to hold on to for stabilization if you're just getting started. So hop into something comfy and let's get started. While we do our warm up, I want you to imagine a 3-foot circle around you, and the only thing that matters for the next little bit, the next half an hour or so, is everything that's in that circle. And so it's you and it's your equipment, and that's it. So try to keep your mind in the game. Let's start to warm up our body as well. We're going to start with arm circles. Keep them small. Mine are going backwards. And then a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. Remember, we can keep these motions small. We're really just getting things moving. Now we're going to go the other way. Keep them small. Good. Now we're going to add in the chin. So we want to warm up our neck a little bit so that the first time that we move our neck, it's not doing something big. So we're going to start looking down and looking up. Again, with this warm-up, especially with the neck, the movement can start small and get bigger with time. And we're also going to look left and right. Again, we're not clanking anything. We're just keeping it nice and easy, looking left and right. Good job. Keep doing your thing. Now we're going to draw tiny little circles with our nose, right? So pretend there's a clock, right? 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and midnight, and backwards. 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, midnight. Nice. Now, naturally, it leads into shoulder circles. So we're going to use shrug. So you shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, down and back. And again, start them small, right? We're just getting things moved up. And as you've done 3 or 4 of them, you can make this movement a little bit bigger. And let's reverse directions. Nice. So now we're going to start to warm up our trunk. And we want to get some twisting going. But again, we're going to start small because there may be some cobwebs because we're just, maybe waking up or we're just getting started. So we're going to make it nice and easy. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a small trunk rotation. I want to pause here and just talk a little bit about core stabilization. So I'm going to say stabilize your core a lot during this video. And I want to tell you what I mean by that. So I'm going to turn to the side. So most of us walk around with this kind of saggy back. So you can see my butt's kind of sticking out, my ribs are flared out here. Now, anytime I'm going to put my arms above my head, I'm putting my back in a position to be hurt, which we don't want. So I'm going to snip this up. So I'm going to tilt my pelvis, but it's a small move. There it is. See, I'll undo it again. There it is. So I'm pulling my hips underneath myself, so they're not hanging out behind me, but they're underneath me in one solid stack. And then I want to pull my rib cage down. And this is, so the rib cage down piece is your upper abs. And this tipping is a bit of this butt and a bit of this low ab. And you'll practice it and you'll get better at it. But every time, through every exercise, I want you to make sure that you're not sagging out like this, but you're bringing that butt in underneath you and bringing these ribs down. So this is one solid piece. It's not moving, it's not swaying. It's going to give you stability. And every time I tell you to put your arms above your head, you're not going to be hurting your low back. And anytime we're going to ask you to do some knee lifting, and anytime you're going to bring your knee up, you want to make sure that this is tight. So the difference between saggy and the knee up, and then knitted it up. Right? So we want to keep that. So that's what I mean by engage your core. Bring your pelvis underneath you and knit your ribs up. Okay, so now I'm all knitted up. We're going to start with our trunk rotations. So stabilize your core like I did mine, and we're going to start with just tiny rotations. So we're just turning side to side, nice and easy. We're just getting a little bit of rotation going. Warm up, open up a little bit. Now, we're going to start to make this movement a little bit bigger. Now, we're going to add in the little feet. So you're going to turn all the way and let the hip and the foot follow. We're going to add the arms. Now, remember, now we'll be moving our arms as well. We want to keep that core engaged. Right. Do a couple more of these. Keep your core engaged and breathe. During this whole thing, I want to hear audible breaths. Audible meaning I can hear them. We're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our nose. Very good. Keep going. Okay. Now we're going to move into our cross arms pullbacks. So bring your arms, remember, keep your core tight. Bring your arms forward and then bring them back up. And again, start with a small movement, right? Just this much. And then we're making it a little bit bigger. Now reverse your palms so they face outwards. Feels different, right? Feels different in the back of the shoulders, feels different in the chest. Keep your core tight, remember, so I'll turn to the sides. Mine's tight, you can see. Nice, good job. Now we're going to open up our hips a little bit. So these are called hip openers, and we're going to start with a small move. You may need to stabilize, right? So pretend this is my chair. So do a small one, bring your knee up, out, down, up, back in, and back, right? And the idea is we're opening up this hip. And once we get that, we're going to make the movement a little bit bigger. Bring it a little bit higher. Bring it a little bit further out. Again, keep this core stabilized. Keep going. And again, you can keep the movement small. Just pretty much opening the hip. And we'll switch sides. And again, you don't actually need the balance. If you want to do it, keep it small. If you want to do it just by holding onto your belly button, you can. All right, I'm going to come over here. Stabilize myself over here now. Make it a small movement at first. And then making it a little bit bigger. Bringing the knee higher. Bringing the knee higher out. And again, it doesn't need to be a bigger movement right now. It could be a bigger movement next time you do this. But this is the idea. Now that we've done that, we're going to bring it around. We're going to go around the world. Again, keeping our core braced, and we're going to keep the movement small at the beginning. So we're just going to bring our hips this way, right? So just do a little bit. These are just tiny movements. Reverse directions. Take it easy. Keep your core engaged. And we can make it a little bit bigger. Sit your butt further back. Bring it further front, right? And again, you can keep this movement as small as you want. The idea is just to get our joints moving before we get going. Okay, 2 more. So we're going to do ankle circles. So again, you can hold on to your balance for this. Circle one way, circle the other way. This side maybe. Okay. Circle one way, circle the other way. Perfect. And last one is a side lunge. So a lot of people just train in the forward-backward plane. We want to train laterally because in our workout today, we are going to be going laterally. So we want to, the first time we move laterally is not going to be when we're exercising. It's going to be in our warm-up. So step to the side and back. These don't need to be big steps at the beginning. We're going to get bigger. Now, put a gentle bend in your knees. So as you step, you're bending into the knee. You can do this for a little bit. Join me. Remember, we're keeping our abs tight, right? Core engaged. Nice and small. Now, eventually, we're going to make that a little bit bigger. So now, you may want to, there's a bug here, you may want to hold on to your chair and step a little bit bigger. Right? Step a little bit bigger. And the idea is we want to start moving in this lateral plane. So from here, bend this knee, bend this knee. Right? This is a small movement. Then we're going to make it a little bit bigger. Right? Nice. A little bit bigger. And what we want to do is we want to sort of wake up these inner thighs here because they are important for moving our leg like this. And sometimes we don't use them because we don't often use them. We walk forward, backwards. So we just want to wake them up a little bit. So you might start to feel them when you do this. When you straighten this one leg, and come onto this leg. And again, you can have your chair. Right? And just getting it moving. Just getting it warmed up. So that's the last bit. So I want to remind you again that there's this 3-foot circle around me, around you. And you and whatever's in that circle is all that matters for the next 30-ish minutes. So keep your mind focused. All that other stuff can wait. The bills, the worries, it can all wait. We're just doing this now. We're going to get into it. Hi, thanks for joining me for this workout. You will not need any equipment. We have already warmed up. If you haven't done your warm-up, check the other warm-up video. You want to warm up before you work out. During this workout, I want you to imagine a 3-foot circle around you. And all that matters for the next 30 minutes is what's inside that circle, which is you, which is me, and our equipment and ourselves, and put everything else aside just for this time. And it'll be right there waiting for you when you get back. Okay, so the structure is we're going to do 30 seconds of work followed by 30 seconds of rest. I will cue you when to start and stop each thing. While you are resting, I'm going to show you the next exercise, and then we will work together for 30 seconds. 30 seconds is not a lot of time. You can do anything for 30 seconds. So at worst, if you're during the 30 seconds of work and you're tired, just walk. Just walk in place or walk, calmly around. But what I don't want you to do is to stop moving during the 30 seconds of work. Because again, we're only here for a short time, so we're going to make it count. Okay, perfect. So we are going to be doing 5 exercises and cycling through them, and I will cue you as to what they are. You may want to get a chair, like a back of a chair, just to put your hand on for stability. I'm going to use this wall over here. Okay, so the first one is called the corner jack. So I'm going to put 30 seconds on the clock, and I'm going to cue you and tell you what the exercise is. And then after 30 seconds of me demoing it, you're going to join me and do the exercise for 30 seconds. So I need my timer ready. Okay, let's start with 30 seconds. So you're still on rest here. I'm going to show you what we're doing. We're talking corner jacks. So you want to move your legs out step by step. Now, I'm going to pause our timer because this is important. So anytime that you're moving, you want to brace your core. What I mean by that is normally when we walk around, we have this kind of sag in our back. See how my butt is way out behind me? This allows me and puts me in a position to hurt my back, especially if I put my arms above my head. So when I say brace your core, what I mean is take your butt from out behind you and bring it underneath you. To do that, you're going to squeeze your butt and you're going to bring your abs and you're tipping your pelvis. So when it's like this, your pelvis is kind of like this. We're tipping it this way. So tipping it this way, tipping it towards the back. If it was a bowl of water that was tipping this way, we're going to tip it back. So that's the core bracing. And to keep it here, you're going to keep a little bit of tension in your glutes and you're going to use your abs. The second piece is your ribs. Your upper abs will bring your ribs down. So my rib cage is called flared. See, it's out. But when I bring my ribs in with my upper abs, I am now braced. This is a strong, stable core. One line, hips underneath shoulders and ribs stacked. So this is what I mean by stack and stable. Stabilize your core. Now, it's really important because every time you put your arms above your head and your core is not stabilized, you can hurt your back. Same thing with lifting your legs. So we're going to be doing a little bit of this. Anytime you do this with your core not stabilized, you can start to feel it in your low back. So actually going forward outside of this workout, if you feel yourself having a low back kind of feeling, just stack your hips underneath, so from here to here, and the pain should subside. Okay. So now we're going to get back into the corner jacks. So the demo is we're going to be stepping out to a 45, keeping your core stable, and then we're going to add the arms. So when your legs go out, your arms go out. When your leg comes in, your arms come down. Right? So this is the move. So now I'm going to throw 30 seconds on the clock, and we're going to do it together. Ready? Here we go. Now, when we're doing this, we want to keep our core stable, and we want to breathe in and out through our nose. Hear my breath? If I were in the room with you, I should be able to hear yours too. In and out through your nose, I want to hear your breath. It's called an audible breath. Like I can hear it. So now, if this is too much, make the step smaller. If it's still too much, take the arms lower. Right? And if it's still too much, march in place. That's 30 seconds. Now, you're at rest. I'm going to show you your next exercise. This is the squat with arm swing. So, the squat is very important to brace your core. Now, for your legs, they go just outside your hips. Your feet are slightly turned out, and when you drop down, I want you to take your knees in the same direction as your toes. Don't let them come in. This is not the same direction because my toes are going here. So together, same direction. Now, the move can be small. We're going to start in 3 seconds. If this is your squat right now, that's okay. Start with me. Okay? Bend at the knees and the hips, push your butt backwards, put your arms up for balance, and come back up to standing by driving through your heels. Make sure your knees are tracking in the same direction as your toes, and we're breathing in and out through our nose. Next level is to breathe out as you come up. Breathe in as you drop down. So in, out, in, and out. Bring your arms higher for a little bit more cardio. 30 seconds. Do not get discouraged. Keep going. You're doing great. We're going to have another chance at that exercise, so don't worry. Next up is the high knee climbs. Brace your core. The idea is you want to get your knees up to parallel. But if this is not going to happen for you, that's okay. Take it here. Now we add the arms. With our core brace, we're going to tap the alternate leg. Right? So you're going to join me soon. And make it a little bit harder. We're going to have a skip. Okay? This is the max version of this move. Okay, 30 seconds. We're going to do it together. Here we go. Keeping our core braced. Ready? Tap the alternating leg. Want to hear your breath. Seven seconds. Keep going. And that's it. You're on rest. Here comes your next exercise. This is the reverse lunge and why you're going to need that chair. The chair is for stability. We're going to start with the left leg. Plant your left foot, left hand for stability. Step back with your right leg into a lunge. This knee on the left side is going to bend. It can be 6 inches. Now we drive back up through this left foot. In 10 seconds, you're going to join me. You can make the move a little bigger. And remember, this is here for balance. Okay, now you're going to join me. Starting with our left leg, lunge back, drive up through the heel, and exhale as you drive up. So breathe in, out. Move does not have to be big to be effective. We're bending a little bit at the knee and bending at the hip. And this is the working leg. And all the power to stand back up is coming from this left leg. And your hand is here just to balance you. Okay, we're going to switch immediately into the right leg for 30 seconds. Here we go. Right leg bending, lunging back with the left leg, driving through that right heel. Use the back of your chair for balance. I want to hear your breath, breathing in and out. Don't forget to breathe. You can do anything for 30 seconds, so keep going. We're working stabilizer muscles while we do this one-legged work. Lunges are important. 5 more seconds. Keep going. Okay, you're on rest. I'm going to show you your next move. This is the last of the set, and these are lateral steps. So we're going to step twice this way and twice back. So 1, 2, tap. 1, 2, tap. Again, you can make this move small, right? Small steps. The idea is we're moving laterally, right? You can move faster. We want to make it bigger. This is kind of choose your own adventure. You're going to join me in 5 seconds. Now we add the arms. So again, 30 seconds on the clock. Join me now. 1 and 2, tap. 1, 2, tap. 1, 2, tap. Chest up, gaze forward, and don't forget to brace your core. And keep breathing. If you've got your arms moving, your heart rate's going to rise, and that's the point. So again, if it gets too much and you're super out of breath and you'd like to stop, just take away the arms. Make the steps smaller. But don't stop moving, and we only have 5 seconds here, so why don't you leave it all out in the field these last 5 seconds? Because then we're going to want to rest. There we go. Good. Okay, going back to the top, we're on rest. You're on the rest for 30 seconds. I'm going to remind you what your first exercise was. It was the corner jacks. So the feet are stepping out, and the arms are going up. We're keeping the core braced, which again means tucking it underneath ourselves, right? And make the step smaller if you have to, make it slower if you have to, lose the arms if you have to, and get right down to walking if that's where you're at. But do not stop moving when we do our work. Ready? 30 seconds on the clock. Join me for corner jacks. Here we go. Here's it from the side. Slow if you want to. Keep going, we're almost done. Don't stop moving during the working sets. Okay, that's time. You're on rest. Next up is going to be the squat with the arm swing. Again, so we put our arms out in front of us to counterbalance our butt going backwards. Okay, so bend the knee and hip at the same time. Track your legs along your feet. Whew, and sit back. Exhale on the rise. Inhale on the drop. Remember, if your squat is shallow, it's okay. We have to start somewhere, right? So make sure you're bracing your core. Here we go. Try and do it with me. Tracking our feet in the same direction as our toes. Not letting them cave in. Arms up. Keep your core braced. Almost done. Keep going. You can do anything for 30 seconds. You want to take this to the next level? When you rise up, come up onto your tippy toes for a calf raise. That's time. You're on rest. I'll demo your next one. Next up, we have our high knee climbs. That's where our knees are coming up core is braced, and we're tapping with the alternate hand. And to add extra, I guess, pizzazz to it, we had the hop. Okay, in 8 seconds, you're going to join me. Remember, the idea is to get your heart rate up, so it should be up. We want to keep it there. All right, join me with join me with the high step knees. Ready? Remember, you can slow it down, or you can make the steps smaller, or you can get rid of the arms, or you can make it harder, making it faster. Lifting your knees higher, and adding the skip. All remembering to breathe in and out through your nose, so I can hear you. Done. You're on rest. Next up is the reverse lunge. Again, starting again with our left foot. We're going to bend our left knee, stepping back with our right leg. This is the lunge. And then we drive up. This is for balance. All right. And again, if it has to be shallow, it still works. All right. Hands for balance. Your turn to join me. Left foot. Here we go. All the power to stand up is coming through that left foot. The right foot's just a tap, and the left foot drives. Push the floor away from you with your left foot, and breathe out as you come up. 5 more seconds. Don't give up here. The move has to be smaller. The move has to be smaller. Done. Immediately switch to your right leg. Here we go. Driving through that right foot now. When we come back up to standing. Our hands are just here for balance. If you don't need them, take them out. If the move is small, the move is small. And gradually, when you do this workout again, you can make it bigger. This set is probably a little bit easier than the last one because you've done it twice now. Good. Stop. You're on rest. Now we have our lateral, which is our last move for the set. And again, we're going to take 2 steps, one direction, tap, 2 steps back. Adding the arms makes it harder. And then adding depth makes it harder, right? And then adding the jump makes it harder. But you get to pick your variation. Here we go. Join me. 1, 2, tap. 1, 2, tap. Add your arms. Keep your core braced. Almost done. And time. You're on rest. Okay, we're going back to the top. This is the last time through. Do not leave anything in the tank here. We're only here for, 5 more minutes, tops. So don't give up on me. We're starting off with our step corner jacks, right? So this is the feet and the arms. Nice bend in the knees. You can tap your heel if you want, or you can tap your toe. Or you could do both. Play around with it, right? It's supposed to be fun here. 5 seconds, you're going to join me. We're going to do 30 seconds of corner jacks. Here we go. Corner jacks. Here we go. I want to hear your breath in and out through your nose. Take down the intensity by losing the arms, making the step smaller. Three seconds, come on. Okay, you're on rest. That's the last time you had to do that. Okay, next up we have our squats. This is the last set of squats that we got to do today. So we're going to make them count. We're going to do them right. Feet. Get set up with me. Feet just outside of hips, toes slightly facing outward. When we drop down, we breathe in, keeping our core tight, tracking our knees in the direction of our toes. pause for a second here, like a hold, like a beat, and then drive up through your feet, especially your heels. We're gonna use the arms for balance and for cardio. Here we go. 30 seconds. And remember, if your squat isn't deep, that's okay. We're working on it. Just keep your knees tracking in the same direction as your toes. And your arms are good for balance. And at your knees and your hips. Time. You're on rest. Squats are done. Remember now we are in our high knee climbs. So the knees are going to come up to parallel. So first of all, saggy butt, tight. Knees coming up with a core tight. Now the arms. Here and here. And eyes up. Here, here, here. That's what we're looking for. 7 seconds, you're going to join me. So get your core tight. Breathe in and out through your nose. I want to hear it. Keep that core braced. Ready? Here we go. Whoops. Last time we got to do this today. So don't give up. Don't leave anything left in the tank. If it's starting to become too much, make the move smaller. Keep the knees lower. Do it slower. Lose the arms entirely. Just march. Whatever you need to do. But this is the move. And if you want to add hops, that's time. Okay, rest. We're going to move into our reverse lunges with our chair. Remember, this is the last time we're going to do these. This is your third time, which means you are better at them now. So, planting our left foot, bracing ourselves for balance if we need it, stepping back with our right leg. Into the lunge, driving through the heel. 7 seconds, you're going to join me. Remember, the move can be small if it has to be. All right, let's do it. Left leg lunges. Keep your core tight. Drive through that left leg. You can play with your balance a little bit by just having your hand hover over your chair. See if you can do it on your own. 8 seconds. Remember, it's almost over. Last set of these left-legged lunges. Time. Switch immediately to the right foot. Now, stepping back with the left leg. Tap. Drive through the right foot. Got your arms for balance. If it's just 12 inches, it's just 12 inches. The idea is we're working one leg, working on our balance, working on our stabilizers. Keep your core tight and keep breathing. We only have 10 more seconds here. Done. Okay, you're on rest. Last exercise, that's it. Leave nothing in the tank. So this is where we can lay it all out there. We're going to do 2 steps to the right. That's the left, actually. And tap. That's the move with the legs. Keeping our core braced. Adding the arms. Making the arms bigger. Makes your heart beat faster. Makes the back of your arms work. 5 seconds, you're going to join me. This is the last thing. You can always add the jump, right? If you're feeling like you want to. Okay, here we go. Last time. 1, 2, tap. 1, 2, tap. 1, 2, tap. 1, 2, tap. Eyes up. Tap. Keep your core braced. Don't forget to breathe. 10 seconds. Now, step it up if you can. If you got anything left in the tank, here's where you're going to leave it. Almost done. And that's it. That is time. Okay. Now, let's see, my heart's up. It's about 130 right now. So your heart rate's probably up too. We don't want to just drop it, right? We don't want to close our chest up. Keep it up. Keep it open. Let the lungs inflate fully. Put your arms up your head. If you want, helps you breathe a little bit easier. Perfect. Just slowly walk around a little bit. We just want to get the heart rate down a little bit more before we just go sitting down. Mine's already dropped 5 beats, right? So it's cooling off. You're gonna want to do a little bit of stretching. You worked out your legs. So now a couple moves can be also done from the warm up, right? So we did those trunk rotations. Nothing wrong with some gentle trunk rotations right now because we were working our core. Those are a good cool down. I'll have to do a full other stretching video, but that's going to be it for this. Thank you for joining me. I hope you liked this, and I'll see you in the next workout. Oh, before I go, make sure you have some protein, either in your lunch or your dinner. Drink lots of water and get lots of rest. If you're going to make this exercise thing part of your routine, you're going to want to prioritize your sleep. 7, 8 good hours of sleep is what you're going to need because a lot of the work, you do the work here with me, but at night, a lot of the work is being done to build back and build up. And if you're not sleeping enough and you're not eating enough, you're going to have a hard time with that. So lots of water, lots of sleep, and lots of protein in your lunches and dinners and breakfasts. Catch you in the next one.